This is the new side of Roomba. I guess it's the art is nice, but I don't quite like it. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I get it, it's a sports bar. I know what their niche is, their clientele, their business model. But to me, that just makes it that much more like something in the States rather than where we're at. This is not the States, it's República Dominicana. See, so I don't like that. That's just my opinion. Rico Toro, yeah. ¿Qué la hay, mi gente? So, shout out TMI Santiago. You know, he's pushing 1,000 himself right now. Check him out. But the reason I shout him out is because, you know, we're always learning. Like, as of today's May 1st. May 1st, 2020 was the first time that I started putting up videos for you guys. So, thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks to all you new folks turning in, ladies and gents. So if you're new and you like real life experiences and personal observations, kind of true, real, authentic content, press that subscribe, please. So TMI Santiago passed on to me that a friend of his that I do not know said that a little constructive criticism, like I say, we're all learning, we're all continue to grow, and we have to be receptive to a little criticism. So he said that I'm a little bit monotone sometimes, you know, like that guy that just speaks straightforward, like reading off the news teleprompter. Like, I was going to the store the other day and it was closed, so I caught a bus uptown, and so I guess I need to the lesson, the takeaway is I need to switch up my levels a little bit, be more animated. So I'm about to head to Santiago for a couple of days. So, you know, got a little, got to get some kind of neurology test on my foot. You know, I've been talking about this off and on a while. You know, my injuries and stuff that I'm tending to. So, yeah, I procrastinated now. We just got to get some higher level testing done on it and physical therapy probably afterwards. So, the appointment's Monday morning, but the way I am now, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or I'm neurotic or what. I don't take offense to any of that. So, yeah, I'm just going today and going to spend most of the weekend there, basically. So, I'll be comfortable nearby when it's time to go for the appointment. So, figure I'm gonna drop y'all this little video, maybe a little bit of a gem, maybe just some general thoughts before I go. So, jumping right in. Think about this. Watch this in its entirely. Do you really want to meet their children? So, this comes about as one of my main girls, I've shared happened to throw on me that she's going through a pregnancy from the so-called boyfriend before she knew me. Well, all that's irrelevant. But she has one daughter that's like 3. And, asked me one day, because she's tried to FaceTime the daughter with me in the background, say hola hija, blah, 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 say hola Rico, como está Rico, señor Rico, blah, blah, blah. And kind of, asked me one day when I was in Puerto Plata, had a problem with the babysitter situation. If I want her to come by then, she was going to come and stay that night. And she says, I can come now for a while, but I have to bring my daughter. And I said, you know what? No, just stay tight and wait for the abuela to come by and watch the daughter, and then you can come stay the night. But yeah, I didn't want no afternoon visit with the daughter. And then, we could backtrack a little bit. Someone I spent a lot of time with during the first lockdowns and quarantines, asked me one day, when are you going to meet my son? And, I've never had a son. Yeah, I've seen pictures of the kid, and I could be like, I probably, admittedly, like, I probably would be like, kind of emotional and kind of soft and be like the son I never had if I was to cross that line and meet the son. And I looked at her and I said, nunca, thinking in English, absolutely never. And that's not to be cold-hearted or anything. It's just that there's a responsibility that comes with that, with meeting the children. There's a responsibility anywhere in the world when it comes to meeting a woman's children that you're involved with. And it's just that I think here the expectation of us and the responsibility is at a higher level. So, I can remember like back when I was in my 20s and used to party all the time, I'd meet a chick on Friday at the club or something. Sunday afternoon when I was bored, I would be driving around making my rounds and just stopping and making house visits. And so I stopped by one chick's house and we're sitting there on the couch and like a little girl comes running across the room to go out the front door. Oh, that's my youngest daughter. And then some big boy comes running in the front door to the kitchen or something. Said, oh, that's my oldest son. And so I look at her like, well, how many kids do you have? And she says, 6. So I said, all right, after a little bit, I'm like, I'm gonna run to 7-Eleven. You need anything for the house? You need anything? And she said, no, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. That was the last I saw her. Well, I saw her out and about, but that was the last I went to that house. I didn't call her. Nothing else beyond that. Because she was looking at me like she was, black chick with 6 kids looking at me like I'm the savior. So, I say I hopped my ass in my 79 Coupe de Ville Cadillac and pushed off out of there. Yeah, I used to roll like that song. Old classic, hoopties, etc. But the caddy really wasn't a hoopty because it was sharp. Fresh paint job, spinners and all that. So, anyways, my thing is, man, it's like the responsibility is just higher of what's expected of us. Like if I would have met the one chick's son, the one I mentioned I spent a lot of time with, for all I know, it would have started off as like a A-Rod jersey or a pair of sneakers. Next thing I know, it's braces. Next thing, we're up in Casa Linda shopping for a 2-bedroom for us to all live in together. And next thing I know, I put a college fund. I put up a college fund in place for the kid. So I said, oh no, so that's how it happens. It's a snowball effect. So, there's some guys that say, you have to, you're cutting yourself short, if you're being that rigid and or whatever, and not embracing the families and this and that. But like I say, I never want that level of responsibility, for someone else's kids. And here's the thing. If I lose everything, I'll find a place to lay my head. If I'm hungry, I'll find a plate. But I don't want anyone else suffering or starving on my watch. And God bless those guys that have stepped up, be it in the States or anywhere in the world, into the role of like stepfather or mentor, etc. You know what? Salute and much respect to those guys. However, stepdad is a title that I said at a very young age I never want to have. I had a stepmother. My dad had 2 stepchildren from that stepmother. It was like a Brady Bunch merger. But that's a title I never want to have. Like I say, shout out and much respect to those guys that have stepped up into those roles. I'm sure you've changed some young men and women's lives by being that. Just not something at this juncture of my life I aspire to be part of. So my take, like I say, be very careful when it comes to meeting the children. And it doesn't mean you can't date and have regular relationships and get close and get to know people. A friend of mine that's been living on the island like 7-8 years, más o menos. He told me, and he doesn't deal with hoes too much. He pretty much is about straight trying to get the so-called good girls or non-pros, civilians, whatever you want to call them. And he spins it like this to them. He says, I want our time to be like a break from our usual routines and habits. I want to see you and you see me, and our time together is like a special. It's like a breath of fresh air. And that's what I'm going with. The breath of fresh air. So I won't hold y'all any longer, but I just want you to think about that. Are you willing to accept that added responsibility at varying higher levels of expectations, like by meeting the children? It could be a lifelong commitment, whether you're with the girl or not. So I'm going to sign out for now. Give you all some footage of Santiago when I come back next week. Stay well, stay blessed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hit that subscribe, by the way.